Last time on WolfPac-Outdoors with Austin Head, you saw us at Swingarm City, Mars Overlook, Factory Butte. Then we jetted over to Fins and Things. We took on the mini trail right before showing up here at Hell's Revenge. And it gets even wilder. I ended up taking on Hell's Gate solo. No spotter, nobody's around. I literally meet 2 people on the trail. It's an epic adventure. "68 hours for adventure." Let's jump right back into it. Welcome back. I'm your host, Austin. The trail starts up a steep rock wall with heavy black tire marks. The rocks were still physically wet to the touch from the rain that had just come through. Things were a little wet, a little wild. Some would say that's exactly how I like it. Plus, I'm always up for a great challenge. Hey, so if you've never been out to this trail, you've got to check it out. The Hell's Revenge 4x4 trail is absolutely unique, and I fell in love with it while I was out there. The trail is marked with signs and symbols painted on the rock surface, and sometimes they're extremely hard to see, especially in the middle of the night. Every now and then, you see a full-size vehicle on this trail, but it's not very often. The spots are perfect for short wheelbases, and these long wheelbases, well, leave a little opportunity to scrape. It also is open to motorcycle and mountain bike use. Passing through this first section here, occasionally known as Lake Michigan, they say this section can easily become flooded after major rains. But as you can see from the rain that had just passed through, it's not too bad. But when we do get in Hell's Gate, that's where the larger puddles do come out to play. And later on that night, I also found that Mickey's hot tub had about 6 to 8 inches of water in it. I figured engaging the lockers is a lot easier on the trail than just spinning a wheel until my traction control tricks in. One of the coolest parts of being out here is knowing that once dinosaurs roamed these areas, and they say you can still find dino tracks out here if you look hard enough. I didn't find it, but they said it's possible. After this short little climb, you can really see that I had no clue what to expect. It's one of those things you walk into and you see on social media, and you really only see 0.5% of the whole thing. As I was cresting this hill, I could see tire tracks in the background, crawling up even larger peaks. I was in awe of what I was destined to attempt. One of the best things that you could do on a trail like this when you're going up or down the hills is just try not to stop. When you apply your brakes too hard, you're going to lock up your front end and you're going to lose steering. So it's best to be light on the brake so you don't wash yourself out. A trail like this really demands a healthy respect. Taking it slow, calculating the line, and committing to the track were key ingredients in my success out here. This section right here, although I don't know if it has a name, it is the actual first long climb on Hell's Revenge. It really gives you a glimpse of how massive this is when you see how tiny my truck is compared to just the top little section. Those two guys in the side-by-side were the only homies that I saw the whole time. Pretty wild, man. On this rock, you can actually see, I think it's a yellow or maybe a white line, but it's a line to tell you where you need to line up to go down that section safely. If I had to call it, those first 3 obstacles, those were the gatekeeper to this whole trail. You can see it even better on this corner here. But again, those are only references, because depending on what size of wheelbase they calculated for those exact lines, your line may vary a few inches or a few feet from side to side. After we get past the first difficult sections, the trail smooths out momentarily until we get back into some rocks. But everything from here to Hell's Gate is relatively smooth sailing. And I would even go as far as to say, if you can make it past the first few obstacles and get to this point, you'll be extremely likely to complete the rest of the trail. I was so excited to get up here, I couldn't hardly contain myself. I knew I only had a limited amount of time left, and to make the most out of what I was doing, I had to get a move on, like right now. Unfortunately, during this whole section, the GoPro went down. So this audio you're hearing right now is just all pre-recorded from something else. Isn't that crazy? I'm solo, no spotter, and nobody else is around to help me out. It's man and machine versus Hell's Gate. When I saw the Hell's Gate sign, I would say a switch flipped. It was around 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I knew I had one shot, and I only had about 45 minutes to actually film this entire section. Watch the driver's side tire here. It's completely compressed. It's doing everything it can possibly do to maintain a firm grip on the slick surface. And it's pulling so hard against that inside bead. I'm so shocked, so incredibly shocked. I didn't lose a bead during this fall. It actually took a few moments to jostle it out of that trap position because the driver's side front wheel was locked in. And it felt like if I were to creep forward at all, I would absolutely be risking snapping drive or steering components. The whistle you're hearing, and the hum, the loud hum, that's from the emergency brake. Since the e-brake locks up the rear on my truck and the pedal locks up the front, I need to maintain steering. I keep a moderate pressure on the e-brake and a light pressure on the brake. Just so when I need to slow down, if I need to, I can lock the rear up and still maintain my steering. Non-poser tip 1. I love this next part here. There's just something about the climb that made everything inside of me come alive. At first, I was going to avoid that puddle, but going around would mean that I'd have to ride on the wall. I really don't want to damage the environment. And this section of Hell's Gate is brought to you by my goddamn right foot is what it's brought to you by. Pay my own damn bills around here. It was so incredible to stand at the very bottom and face the gate. Everything steadies, everything's calm. Right now, at this very moment, in this very video, I am so deep in the cut, deep in the moment, tuned in and locked in. It's time to be real. Let's go. Pay attention to the left front driver's tire. It's going to smush nearly all the way down. You can see how dramatic the toe is on the truck, how the A-arms are hanging down. You can really see that driver's side articulate and just reach for the very ground. there goes the bead. Man, that makes my heart go. Oh man, I can't believe that bead never rolled off. That was incredible. This is it. This is the spot. And this is, after you've got it lined up, you know you have to ride that side. The wheel lift happened. It's just accelerate, turn down, and get out. Things are a little jumpy out of here because I still have the locker engaged. I got a little excited after completing that section. As you can see, there's absolutely nobody around, which is highly uncommon for this area. And I felt doing that by myself and having nobody around, nobody watching, that one was for me. Here we go. Now we actually have to finish this thing up. So, as the sun quickly fades away and the clouds cover the sky, it becomes dark fast. My ability to safely navigate the trail diminishes rapidly. I'm stuck with a choice: push through and risk falling apart in the dark, or wait until morning. Now that I got you guys back in the cab, found the trail. There it is. Oh, I'm telling you, this is going to be a little too much challenge here. I can't see over my hood. I'm just kind of driving blind right now. Good morning, guys. Welcome to the next day on the trail. I had to call it quits kind of early last night just because it was so dark and I kind of kept driving off of the track. It got really dangerous at the end, and so I found a quiet little spot out here and camped it up for the night. This morning I ended up taking a shower pouch shower in the front seat, did a little wardrobe change, and now we're hitting it again. Yeah, we're gonna finish this one up and then we're gonna get over the top of the world. Check that one out. As you can see, the rain will probably be starting pretty soon because the wind is blowing from the south. The birds are playing. It's absolutely gorgeous out here. It's incredible. We got a lot left. We just passed mile 5, and so what, we got like 4.5 miles to go. Let's get to it. As I continued forward the next day, I knew there were only a few miles left. I'd never seen this back section of the trail before, and I was excited to see what it was all about. Soon enough, I find myself right back into it, climbing down this section. These sections weren't small, and I really hope the truck is doing it justice. Trying to navigate down this section, the rear end almost slipped out twice. You can see me patting my heart right there. pause real quick. Right here in the background, you can see the line's back, at least the back side of it. You can't drive up there anymore. It's private land, and there was a pretty bad rollover. Blue Chevy, I believe. I'll leave a link to the video at the end. At one point, I really couldn't help but feel remorseful about skipping some of the key obstacles during the night. I missed out on the escalator, the tip-over challenge, and Mickey's hot tub. But really, in a sense, gives me all the reasons I need to plan another trip to Moab. As I crawled through the last sections of trail, I knew I had to be quick on my feet, and as much as I wanted to stay and enjoy the ambiance, I had to jump over to the top of the world trail. I ended up driving into the night to complete it. You can find a link down below. After completing Top of the World, it was back to reality. The snow had started to fall. As I embarked on my 16-hour drive home, I couldn't help but relive all the moments that had just taken place and dream of the day when I get to come back with my family and do it all again. Make sure you join me next time as we explore Southern Oregon. Let me know in the comments below what you're going to do with 68 hours for adventure. I'm Austin with WolfPac-Outdoors. I'll holler at you later.
Perfect.